Hey everyone, Sheree here again. I have something really exciting that I'm doing, exciting for me anyway. This isn't going to be one of my normal Flosstube videos. Normally I am sitting here chatting to you for an hour and a half and showing you all my work, but that's not what I am doing today, so this one should be a bit quicker. But I am releasing the chart that I designed. I designed this chart back in January, and it's taken me a while to release it. I wasn't happy with the programs I was using, and I'm still on the hunt for another program. So if there's anyone out there that's designing and you know of good programs, let me know. I'm happy enough with this program to produce the chart, but there's still a couple of things I'd like it to be able to do. So without further ado, this is the chart. So it's called Within Our Hearts. It is 261 stitches wide by 229 stitches high. So it's pretty big. Yeah, what do you think? Death took you away from us. I wish you could have stayed. I'm reading this backwards. You filled our lives with so much joy, such an impact you made. I know not what the future holds, nor if we'll meet again, but you'll live on within our hearts, of that I am certain. So this one was inspired by Michelle Bendy. She showed a Flosstube video, and since she's changed channels, I'm not sure if that one's still, if that's up again or not, but basically she talked about her papa, and it just really touched me. And it's sort of how someone can touch you even when they still have left a mark on you, even when they've gone, because you could clearly see that when she was telling you about her papa. Part of this chart will go to charity. I listed it for $18 Australian. It is, I think that equates to, when I typed it into Google, about $13 US. It was just under $13 US, or £10 if you're in the United Kingdom, which it was just under £10. It was £9 something. So I don't know how it works with Etsy, because it's going to be in my Etsy store. It's Aganas. I'll link that below, so you can just click on that if you're interested. Yeah, but $3 of the sale of each of the chart, if you want to buy it, is going to go to the Michael J. Fox Foundation. So I'll be donating that. I'll do a big donation, and I'll let you know in like the Flosstubes how much it's up to, if many people buy it. Otherwise, I'll still give them some money at the end of the 3 months. So it's for the first 3 months, $3 is going in to that from every sale, but I'll let you know how much goes in, and if not very much goes in, I will make a donation myself, because I want them to get like some money. Now, the reason I designed it in January, apart from me being a slight perfectionist and making little changes here and there, The reason it's taken me until April to release this chart is actually Good Friday today, which I thought was rather poignant for some people, is I wanted to make sure that the floss usage was correct, because I'm stitching it on 36 count, and I'll show you that in a second. I'm stitching it on 36 count, and it was coming out, I'm stitching it in Gentle Arts and Weeks, that's what it's charted in with a DMC conversion. It was coming out, I didn't think it was right, and it was using more thread than what the chart, what the program said it was going to. So it said it was going to use 1.5 of a skein, like 1.5, 1.5 skeins of Presidential Blue, Gentle Arts. I've stitched up this border, which is this flower here, that's a different blue. This flower all through the middle of this border is that Presidential Blue. And when I stitched it up, I'm stitching it on 36 count, 2/2, and I'm using 1.5 skeins of that blue. So that's wrong, because 36 count is smaller than 28 count, which is what it's charted on. So I then did the math to bump that up. Now the reason I really wanted to try and get that as close as I can is because I didn't want people buying not enough. Now it went up to 1.9 skeins, which is pretty close to 2 skeins. So if you're going to do a lot of frogging, which no one plans to frog, but you know, you might need a little bit more, but I don't know. Now the reason I was worried about that, let's just for a minute talk about this Bags Plus Floss Buddy Flip, because that's what I've been stitching with. Isn't that incredible? 45, big pocket, love it. So I've already used like a whole skein of the Presidential Blue and a whole skein of what's it called, Old Brick, Gentle Arts Old Brick, because I've completed the border, and I thought that was enough for me to get a good idea of how much the floss usage was going to be. Now the reason I was worried about that was this is Tin Bucket, which is called for if you're going to use the called for floss and not the DMC conversion, because it has a full DMC conversion. You'll use Tin Bucket, and I don't know if it's going to show up in this light. I really wanted to try and film during the day. That never happened. You see how there's a difference there? So my store only had one Tin Bucket, and then I ordered another one online, and it's slightly different. This one is a little bit more brown, green-ish, as opposed to grey. So I didn't want that happening to people if I had my floss usage out wrong. So this will still work. This is in the words. You can still make this work when this happens. This is in the words. So this one is Iris Weeks, and this one is Tin Bucket. I will do either one paragraph in one of them and then the next paragraph in the other, or I'll alternate words. So I'll do one in this one, and then I'll do the next word. So I'll do death in this one and the next word in the next one, to try and make it so you can't really tell so much. So yeah, it can still work, but that is why it's taken me so long to release, because I really wanted to make sure that that was right before I released it. So what you get if you buy it is you get the chart. So you get a front cover sheet and then an information sheet with the DMC conversion, and then you get the chart, which is in black and white. So there's a little bit of it there. I did black and white because I think a lot of people find that easier, and it's just huge. anyway, because the program I'm using, I had to print it and then scan it. I couldn't just save it. So if I made it colour, it would be even bigger, and that might not be great for people. But if you really want a colour option, which would be a coloured block, it would be similar to this. This is my working copy. So a coloured block with the symbol as well. Just contact me on Etsy, or I'll leave an email in the link below, and I will see what I can do. So there's also a second option that comes with it, because some people may not like that first line where it says death took you away from us. Instead of it just says taken away from us. So that you'll get that as well, that which is just the first 2 pages of the chart, because I have it charted as 9 squares per inch. It's the same as the Hands Across the Sea sizing, because I really like their sizing, and it's really easy to see if you're a printer for charts. So if you're going to buy it, print it and then work off it. It makes it much easier to read. So you'll get that, and then you'll also get an alphabet and numbers charted, so that you can insert your own date if you wanted to, and change the initials in there as well if you wanted to. So yeah, that is what you get. A little bit about what's actually in here and what's inspired, so you get a little bit of the background for it. There's obviously this very big sugar skull, Day of the Dead skull. That is, because obviously this is a mourning piece, that is to signify the tradition of remembering and honouring deceased loved ones. So it's basically you celebrate their life, not just mourn their death as well. So it's sort of that celebration of the time that we did have with the people that we love that are now no longer with us. So that's what the skull represents. There's some birds. So there's a crow up the top. Now the crow has a purple eye. I was going to do them all in purple, with purple eyes, but my husband said that might be too much. But if you want to give them all purple eyes. So the crow has a purple eye, and the other 4 have a light blue eye, which is this colour here. The peacock is here in between these wordings, and that's because a peacock represents immortality, and it's close to the "you'll live on within our hearts" wording, so that's the significance of the peacock there. There's the crow right at the top. We're talking about near the verse of actual death and being taken away from us. The crow is associated with bad luck as well, but also evil and death and war and solitude and that, which is sort of, I guess, solitude, at war with ourselves, all that sort of stuff. When someone passes away, you can get a lot of that, but it also represents longevity and hope, and is a predictor of the future. So I got all these off the Hands Across the Sea website when I was researching for this. So I just got those little meanings there, and I thought they were very apt. Then down the bottom, there's a pair of birds. Now a pair of birds represents eternal life. So that's why there's a pair of birds there. And then we've got this little bird here, because just a bird in general represents hope. So yeah, gives you hope they could have stayed, and there's lots of meaning behind this. There's a lot of roses in this border. There are 45 roses in total in this piece. Most of them are obviously in the border, but there's one here and there's 4 here. So there's 40 in the border. Now, the roses have a couple of significance to them. Michelle Bendy's daughter is named Rose. So being the inspiration, I know that Michelle likes charts with roses on them. So I really needed to put some roses on there. But that wasn't just the only reason. It was a reason, but it wasn't just the only reason. My daughter's middle name is Rosa, which is Rose in Spanish. My husband's from Chile, and obviously Spanish is his native tongue. And his mother was named Rosa, so that's why our daughter got the middle name of Rosa, and she passed away. So she passed away a while ago, and obviously there's significance there as to why I wanted a chock full of roses on there, because there's a bit of a reference to her there as well. So what else do I need to talk about? The wording is quite thick. Like, I wanted to sort of have that feel, sort of a bit of a moody feel. It is rather a sampler style, but with my twist to it. So it's got like sort of classic sampler birds on there, a nice border and stuff, but then there's this big skull. And there's the colours. I have a sort of blend of really bold colours, really popping colours, and then some really muted colours as well. So let me show you what I've stitched up, because you really don't get a good feel for stuff until it's stitched. Unfortunately, I don't get a huge amount of time to stitch, so getting a model stitched up in the time frame to be able to release it wasn't going to happen. And I'm not at the point where anyone even knows about me to do sample stitching. But here is, let me just stand up so I can make sure you can see. Here it is. So that's just the border. So I'm going to start on the middle, all the rest of it. And hopefully can get some photos up on the website of that too. So yeah. So this has sort of, this is a very samplery colour. This is a colour and cotton. It's actually a limited edition, but it was too perfect not to stitch this on. It's from the Christmas box. So I don't have a recommended fabric for this. And because it's so easy to change up the colours, I didn't really want to recommend a fabric, because if you wanted to stitch this on black fabric and change some of these roses to white, you could. That'd look cool. Or whatever you'd want to do. If you don't like blue, you could change that. But we've got this sort of old brick colour, which is quite muted on here. We've got this colour. This colour is called Pistachio. It's a Weeks Dye Works. So that's quite muted on here, but you can still see it quite well. And then Grasshopper. It's a very popular colour. It's a Weeks. He's in here. Yeah. So yeah, that is what I wanted to show you all today. It is going up in my Etsy store when this is published onto YouTube. It'll be on my Etsy store, so if you are interested, showing you a bit of love. This is my first design, so it's pretty nerve-wracking. I hope you like it. Yeah. Is there anything else? Just checking my notes. Yeah. So thanks for visiting again. Check it out. All right, thanks.